Okay, hello. I think I'm live, and I want to thank y'all for joining me on the stream today. And of course, very, very busy after holiday weekend. A base amp just came in that I needed to check. So,
Lori just called me, and I need to go
Lord.
home for a minute.
Okay, all right. Is she okay?
I don't know.
Okay, okay. So, very, very busy day nonetheless. And so I'm gonna check a bass amp real quick. So I'm not gonna get started on the massive amounts of nut repairs that I have coming in. For some reason, the guitar nuts are getting broken. So I will be working on this, but currently I'm trying to get this PV amp to work for a gentleman, and I'm going to see if I can get this thing working. This gentleman just bought this amp here just recently, and it worked just fine, and then all of a sudden it says it's not doing anything. So space between. All right, let's see. Do I have enough cable? Nope, too short. I usually have a 10-foot cable over here, but I ended up selling it to somebody the other day. They needed one for a guitar amp. I like to have a 10-footer here so I can plug something in.
Are you Tom?
Yeah.
Where's the key?
Right here in my
All
pocket.
right. Let's see. So we got no sound out of this here amplifier, the thingy. Thanks y'all for being here, you guys. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I've got a subscription for it. Do you have to
So
pop the dash to get
the tuner is turned on, I believe, and that's what the problem was. The gentleman didn't understand. If I push this down, now the tuner is on. You can see the red light, probably. No signal. And we'll just crank it up. And if I turn that off, we've got signal. I want to just play through it real quick and make sure everything's good. I am not the world's greatest bass player. Boom. I'd say it works. And with the tuner on, nothing. So, yeah, this is a pretty simple one. Let's turn that off. Have this. Actually, I'll leave that turned on. I'll unplug it. Let's see if I can have this gentleman come over. All right. Oh. Well. All right, that was I love the easy ones, and that's problem solved. That's kind of what I thought was going on. He didn't realize that the tuner was turned on, so we are back in business. Boy, I hope y'all had a really, those of you in the U.S. had a really wonderful holiday weekend. I know I did. I had my sis came and visited me. My sis is such a badass. I hope you all get to meet her someday. We did no live streams or anything like that. We just hung out. Super fun. We've always been pretty darn close. Let's see. Charlie, hello. And Steven, hello to you. Rogue, how you doing? Richard, the Falcrow, and Zach, all you guys, man, thanks for being here, you guys. Had a really fun stream yesterday, and those of you who might have been there for that, 'tis the season for nuts, apparently. Today I will be working on this Takamine. I say Takamine. And also one of my clients gave me this today. The new John Petrucci album, which was really super kind of him. So we'll be rolling that here soon. I've listened to the whole record, of course. And then I will also get this out of the way. I will also be working on this in the next day or so, probably this afternoon. And it also, the nut has been whittled down from string changes and such to the point that there's some first fret buzz. So my plan of attack on this one is to shim the bottom side of the nut here. And because this is a custom built guitar, Steven, you might find this interesting. It's a book matched piece of maple that the gentleman who owns this guitar, you can see the neck joint and all of that. The gentleman who owns this guitar's brother built this guitar for him, and it has definitely been mistaken for a Parker Fly. But as you can see, the headstock doesn't quite fit the bill. So if you know anything about Parker Flies, you would recognize this is a fake or a copy of one. So that one will get a new nut, and I have to answer a phone call here real quick. I'm going to be real busy here going on here. LeGrand Stereo and Music, this is Marshall.
I think that might show up in the main.
Say again, Kenwood Auto?
So are you turning off the one in the truck?
Oh,
So,
Android, yeah. I've got some double dens here. I've got one definitely here. It's a real basic model, but it's a touch screen. And Kenwoods have been really hard for us to get recently, so let me take a look. I'm not sure. Take a look at our inventory here. Do I have, oops, somebody else is. Hello? You still there? Oh, okay. I thought I might have lost you. Let me see. I do not have. Man, I gotta tell you, that is the only Kenwood deck that I've got. Oh wait. No, I've got two models. Oh wait, here's one more. This is a. Let me make sure that this one has Android Auto before I tell you. But I do have one here that, yes, it does have Android Auto in it. This one, this version of a Kenwood deck. Hang on. Yep, this other one does not have Android Auto. So yeah, but I do have one Kenwood double den deck that if it would fit in your vehicle, we've got one here, but that's it. So if you're interested. Yes, it is a DMX 125 BT. Yeah. I would need to check that on the computer. So let me do this. And forgive me, man, I'm here by myself. So what I'd like to do, yeah, we don't have a real big staff here. So what I'd like to do is get your name and number. That way I can kind of try and help other folks, and then I can go check and see what we need for yours. Let's see, it's a DMX. I'm gonna write DMX 125. Yeah, 125 BT. And it's a what year, make, and model? 2006 chord. F150. Any special name, Eddie Bauer or anything like that on that one? Lariat. Okay. It's a great basic model. Okay. Let's see. Now, are you planning on doing the install yourself, or? Okay. Okay. Let me look. Let's see. Hang on. Just a moment. I just had a thing go. Okay. Let me get your name and number real quick, if I could. Cool name. And phone number for you. Okay. Okay. Let me do some research. I'll check the what all parts it's going to need, and I'll let you know whether I have them or not. We should, but let's see. Check for. I'm just making a note here. Check for harness, dash kit, and then steering wheel controls, right? Okay. Okay. Let me look that up for you. I'll call you back as soon as I can, okay? All right. Thanks, Corbin. Bye. Okay. Hello.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness.
For Jacob. For August.
It's great to see you.
You too. It's been a while.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
He's
Did you see his new guitar?
oh, my God.
He's very proud.
Oh, it was so, that made my heart sing when
Oh,
he got
good.
that. I mean, I kind of helped him make that
It's
decision.
your fault.
I know.
Yes.
I was like, I'm not getting you in trouble, am I?
No, he's paying for it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said that. He's working for.
struggled trying to decide which one and whatnot, but
Yeah.
he seems pretty happy with his decision. So.
Yeah. Well, now he's got two of the best weapons in the guitar
Cool.
world.
Cool.
With a Les Paul and a Strat. You can't beat
Yeah.
that. You can play any song you ever wanted, and one of those guitars was
Oh, good.
probably used
Okay.
on it. So, yeah, I'm
That's
so
what
proud
he
of
was
him.
thinking, because he wants to study music. He wants to go to college and study music composition and whatnot. So
We've talked a lot
he's
about
like,
that.
Mom, I need a guitar I can go all the way through college with.
Yeah.
So.
That one will give him more of a line, I think, on the jazz sounds.
Okay, which he loves.
Yeah, and so and that bluesy, darker blues type
Yeah.
tones that might work for him. So, and he had played mine.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
loves.
I got sick right when I loaned him
Yeah.
that guitar, and I was not at all worried about it, but I knew he was going to buy one.
He wasn't
And-
happy that you got sick, but I think he was happy
Right.
that he got a little extra time with it. To
Right.
be honest.
Yeah, man, he's been doing such a great job. He's just a sponge soaking the stuff up right now. So
Yeah, he loves it.
yeah, and we've been. It's funny because we don't play a lot at lessons,
Yeah.
because we end up talking a lot about
Yeah.
what his
Which I think
aspirations
is
are.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems
And you
to.
always give him sound parenting advice.
I-
So.
I know who his parents are, but yeah, I've raised one of those
No, we appreciate
young creatures, and
Yeah.
so always. Number one, don't get anybody pregnant.
That's what
I've been like, dude, don't.
he doesn't have time right now.
Right.
He's playing piano, he's playing guitar, he's going to school. It's like,
He's like wants to go to the Olympics too. It
Yes.
sounds like so, and
he runs a lot
Hey.
too.
set high
As
goals.
long as it keeps him busy, I don't care.
Yeah. So yeah, I thank you for that.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of course.
very cool.
Of course.
Oh,
So, yeah. Hello
Well.
again. I can never get him to remember to take it to you when he comes somewhere. I'll just do
Oh.
it myself. Then I can say hello.
I don't ever worry about it. I don't even keep track of stuff. I'm not that.
Yeah.
I'm like marking down every lesson. If I don't get paid for one, it's like what else would I be doing on a Thursday night?
Right. Now we'll
So
make
I get
sure.
to work with your
We'll
son.
make
so
sure you
that's-
get paid for him because it's very valuable to us.
Yeah.
The time he spends with you, and I know you spend extra.
Oh
a little bit
yeah,
extra
we
with
go
him,
over.
so-
But the conversation is so fun.
Yeah.
It's like having
Good.
a friend come by and hang out for
Good.
a while.
No,
so,
he enjoys it a lot.
Yeah.
The conversation and the
yeah,
guitar.
I'm glad.
So
Well,
yeah.
cool. Well, I
Thank
got
you.
plenty of them to work on right now, so I'm busy.
Good.
And I have 2 new students starting this week.
Oh, awesome.
So
That's
I am a
good.
busy boy.
Good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, he should be pretty busy too. Mio comes back. The person he does piano with should be
Yes.
back starting in October, so he'll have
Is
some.
she also doing? She is a female, right?
Yeah,
Is she also doing vocal lessons here in
I
town?
don't
do you
think
know?
so. No,
Okay.
she's a
Okay.
piano professor at the college. I think
Yeah.
she does strictly piano.
Okay.
But I think that he really wants to go to U of O, but we're trying to get him to just look into Eastern just as kind of a backup plan because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
College is so expensive. Oh my God. So
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
why don't you just live at home for a little while and
Yeah.
just hang out here for a bit, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about that.
Yeah.
You know, when I was going to college, I paid for it myself.
Yeah.
I worked a full-time
He-
job, went
he-
to school,
he
paid for
works-
it myself.
He works for his grandpa.
Yeah.
And they've been doing a lot of business this summer, so
Yeah.
he'll pay
It
what he
sounds
can,
like-
but we'll help him if he,
Yeah. Now, is he your dad or is he?
He's Ralph's dad. He's my father-in-law, Ulrich. is-
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so why do I thinking your husband's name was Phil?
No,
Is it-
it's Ralph. You know
Ralph.
who he is, but
Ralph,
his name is
that's
Ralph.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah.
Yeah. He's
I'm
been,
terrible with
No,
names.
that's okay. I am too. I'm worse with faces, but.
I understand.
So,
yeah,
yeah,
Ulrich
he's-
has been. I've worked for him for
Yeah.
so long. I've done plumbing work for him when I was
Oh,
plumbing,
okay.
and gone out and fixed his television for him. I don't even know how many times.
Probably a lot.
You've heard about it.
Oh yes. Jacob's over there a lot trying to fix things too, but
I've thanked him a few times for that. Like, dude, thank you for taking care.
he can't hear, he can't,
Yeah.
and he does not understand technology.
Yeah, and it sounds like Jacob's going to get a lot more busy.
Yeah.
With now with what's going on with
Yeah,
with
he's
Grandpa.
doing well this week, for instance. He's doing a lot of jobs on his own
Yeah.
that Ulrich's not able to go with him on.
Yeah.
So, and we're just kind of holding out because he's only 17, but he'll be 18 in December because we keep waiting for somebody to be like, "Why is this kid over here doing my lot?"
Right.
But he does a really good job. So.
Well, all I can say is my compliments. You
Thank
guys
you.
have done a fantastic job giving
He's
him a good
hard
work
worker.
ethic.
So
That
but,
kid.
Yeah, he actually, we actually got the school to take him out of a couple of classes, like
Yeah.
music. He was in a music class at the high school. I'm like, he doesn't need to do that. Can
Right.
he get out early so he can go work?
He knows more than the teacher probably.
Yeah, he was gonna
mean,
like be
no
a TA
insult.
or something, but
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a waste of his time.
Yeah.
So they actually let us pull him out early because we told him he was working with you and with Mio. It's like that's like
Yeah,
way
do
more
you
than
need
he's
more?
gonna pick up at the Union
Yeah.
High School.
Well, he's
So-
he's really been doing a great job with memorizing the scales, the modes, and you know the important part of that, you can know them all day long. What good does that do
Right.
if you don't have a practical application to that knowledge?
Right.
So that's been my focal point of
Cool.
every lesson. And let's pick. Okay, tonight we're going to work with the Dorian mode and just focus on that,
That's
or the
yeah.
Phrygian, or whatever. You know, we'll just pick. I'd pick a mode. Let's work with
And
it.
that's really awesome because that's not something that he learns from Mio, but he
No.
can also apply all of that to
Yeah.
piano. So.
I think Neo's probably, it's Neo, right?
Mio with an M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's teaching him how to read and
Yes.
sight read, and there's not a ton of theory involved in that on piano because everything's on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So you're playing off of a piece of paper and trying to
Exactly.
copy that, whatever.
Yeah, it's
is.
just more technical stuff that she's.
Yeah, what we're doing is improv.
Yeah.
What happens in the moment is, it'll never happen again.
Yeah.
And if it does happen again, that is sheer luck. So I'm trying to get him to implement that because I know if he does end up at U of O
Mhm.
or even at EOU, there's the opportunity for a jazz improvisation
Yeah.
class or pep band
That he would love.
where
that.
they'll turn him loose on the basketball court and do the national anthem or something
Yeah.
and make it yours.
Yeah.
You know, if you're playing a Michael Jackson tune, make it your own,
Right.
that sort of stuff. So he's really doing a great
Good.
job with that.
Yeah, I've never seen. Well, I don't know what guitar music looks like, but I've never seen him ever look at a piece of guitar music ever.
It's
So
tab.
he doesn't own any of that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, and we don't work with any of that in my lessons. I'm not real clear. I'm not very well developed with reading tab. I can sound it out, and I can sound out if I had a piece of sheet music sitting in
Yeah.
front of me. But still, that's
Yeah.
like the guitar players in the world that can actually do that. There's about that many
Oh,
of them.
really?
Yeah, they're just, those are the guys that get hired to do studio work in LA and things like that.
Oh, okay.
the Tim
Okay.
Pierces of the world, and many others.
Gotcha.
I mean, there are many others, but like to me, given the goals that he has set for himself, that doesn't seem like it's one of them. He doesn't
No.
necessarily want to go in and play in a studio. He is 17,
Yeah.
and so that may change.
Yeah.
But for him to get a good grasp of tab,
Yeah.
like for guitar, or to sight read music, I mean, that's going to take a lot of his own
Yeah.
effort, and I think he'd be better off. It's almost like learning to speak another language.
Yeah.
You can read it better than you can actually speak it.
Right.
So it's
Yeah, that
kind
makes
of
sense.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
very similar. In fact, my music lessons in high school counted for my foreign language.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ever have to take
Yeah.
French or Spanish
Okay.
or anything. So
Okay.
hopefully he's probably already done
He
all
already
that.
did 3 years of Spanish or something like
Why don't
that.
they just
2 or 3.
graduate him now and
I
go to
know,
work?
He's like ready to
Yeah.
get out of there, but yeah. That's funny you say that though, because he went to last year. He went to a Baroque competition for piano, and he got marked down because Baroque is it's a very specific style, very technical, and he didn't like it. He hates it. So he put all of his own feeling and his own expression in it, and they didn't like that.
Yeah.
But we're like, just do it how you want to. We don't care.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
a
was kinda
big
interesting.
difference from classical music to virtually anything else.
yeah, it's just
Jazz is complete improvisation in most cases.
And he likes that.
Classical music, you play what's on the sheet
Yeah.
and do not deviate.
yeah. He's strong. I mean, he can play. He can play and he can read piano music and he can memorize it and he does. But he doesn't like to do it that way. He
Yeah.
likes to learn it and then put his own, feel
Yeah.
on it, which I think is cool. So.
Last week we explored the Phrygian dominant mode, which is a kind of a dark sounding
Okay.
Hindu-ish
Oh,
sounding
okay.
mode. I played through it one time. He's like, "Dude, what was that?"
Oh,
And he
really?
just felt it's a really, really cool sounding
Oh,
mode.
cool.
So it was really fun for him. And during that, he learned the scale, memorized the position and where the notes were on the guitar neck, and we just soloed to that in the key of B,
Cool.
and B seventh actually, or dominant seventh. And I know that probably all
No.
French, but man, he just took off with it.
Cool.
So he grasps stuff so quickly.
Yeah.
So I wish he was younger.
I know.
I wish we could have
I
started
wish
working
we would
together
have
when he
really
was.
known what the heck we were
Yeah.
looking at when he was younger.
And
But
of course, we had the 2 years of pretty much
I know. Yeah.
we lost, but
Yeah.
he didn't lose much. He was still playing.
Good.
When he came
Good.
back, he's like, he didn't take a moment.
Yeah, I
off,
wish
so.
we had started him doing that when he started piano.
Yeah.
He just one day said, "I want to play the guitar," but yeah, I wish because he loves music. He'd do that all day long if he
Yeah.
could. So,
Yeah,
so thank you.
know,
I
get it.
appreciate that. You keep him
Yeah.
going. So,
Well, my job to motivate.
and
I
he
think
loves
so.
to sit and chat with you too. So.
Yeah, that's great. Well, yeah.
Hey, Mike.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right. Well, thank you, Marshall.
Okay,
Let you
yes.
get back to work. And I'll
Great to
see
see
you next
you.
month.
You work at what's it?
Up at DHS.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Up there on
I
Gecko.
might need to come talk to you here I don't know what you do there, but
I work for child welfare,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't.
but there's all kinds of other agencies up there
Yeah.
too. So,
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't need to talk to me.
No, I'm done with all that.
Yeah, I'm no help to you.
Okay, all right.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Marshall.
good to see you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Hey. Yeah. It was fun last night, Preston, watching you work with Tab and kind of reading it. That's really a cool experience to get to see that happen. I'm not very fluid with Tab. I just use my ear. So I learn by ear. That's my learning method. Got to put my money away. Okay, so let's get started fixing this Takamine. So we'll take a look at what's going on up here. Now, I don't think Hugh. It is. There it is. It's a Takamine model EG 334RC, made in Taiwan. Acoustic guitar. It has the name acoustic guitar on the sticker. I don't know how well you can see that because the the decal is kind of odd. And what we got going here is, excuse me, I just poked you right in my face, the nut. Oh boy, we got speakers coming
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I am gonna see. Hopefully you can see what's going on here. But if I let loose that string, so somebody has sanded the top of this saddle down, probably after watching a YouTube video of how to do one of these. And I hope it wasn't mine, because I wouldn't do this. But let's see where that string is supposed to sit. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just try and see if I can't get this thing to stay put, because what's happened is this side of the nut's been filed down too steep, and so the string just falls out, right? And this is a 12 gauge string, so I'm going to get my nut files out. Let me turn off my phone here. And if any of you need to call me, the number here is 541-963-5933. I can talk to you on the phone while I'm working on a guitar if you'd like. Gary Hubbs did that to me one time. That was kind of fun. Okay, I need to get my Japanese saw out. I call it a Japanese saw. It's a very accurate, thin blade, so that I can score this. And what I've done is I've traced out where the string lays, and I'm going to use this to score and then I've got my alignment just right. Just a couple of swipes, and where's my this first fret action is just way too low. And that string is just not wanting to sit in the right spot. I'm going to make an executive decision right now, and I'm going to change the nut. So I'm going to leave the strings that are on this guitar on it and go ahead and get to work on rebuilding this nut. So we'll use our favorite old popsicle stick. I hope everybody's doing all right. Gary, what's up? Preston, good to see you. Hugh. Huh. What's the weather doing in Scotland today, Hugh? Tonight, this morning, this afternoon, this evening? What is it? 8 o'clock at night? 9 o'clock at night? You're almost like, I think you're almost opposite of me, I think. Midnight there now, or my time is so screwed up. And we will put some new strings on this. We're gonna string it up with these Earthwood phosphor bronze, medium light, 12 to 54. So when I cut this new nut, I'll be cutting the nut slots the right size for those 12s. We've been having such beautiful weather here in Oregon. God, you guys, it's been absolutely gorgeous. And thank you everybody for popping in and hanging with me for a bit. Hopefully somebody can learn something. If you have something broken on your guitar, this might help. Again, somebody sanded this nut and they just took too much off of it, so we will get this thing fixed. Let's get this. Okay, and what I have here at my shop is, hopefully we're pointed at the right direction. I'll get you a little bit closer to the action here. Let me get that out of the way. So I do have a multitude of pre-made nuts. They're already cut, and what I have to be sure of is that the string spacing is correct, and these generally work on almost every guitar. So yeah, somebody had done some work to that. And so first things first, and that is to check the thickness. I have to sand that down a bit. I need to go thin this bad boy out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make a mark on the back side of this. So what I'm going to do is remove some material from this side of the nut so that it fits in the slot here that's provided. They do an overlay on the headstock and they butt that right up to the nut. So you've got to get them to sit absolutely perfect in there. Which this one is a little bit too wide. So here's what we can do about that. And that is kind of get my bearings here. A lot of different ways to do this sort of thing. Let's get this. Yeah, I just filed this, sanded down the nut too far. Where'd my pencil go? I just used it right here. It's probably under my, there it is. So this is going to give me a little idea of how much I need to take off of here. I'm sorry if my hat's right in the way. Actually, let's lay these down flat. Here we go. That's smart right there. IR smart. In fact, I'm going to take a piece of tape so that I can be real accurate with my marking here. Come here. Come on, tape. I trimmed my fingernails. Doggone it, I don't have fingernails anymore. Okay. Just doing this so that I can mark my mark the thickness, what I need to take off of here, and it's tiny little bit. It's almost enough. I could probably do that right here. So let me scoot this over a bit. And if you do have a bench that you do work on, this sticky sandpaper, this is 320 grit, which for me, I'd like to have some thicker stuff, but this is a great way to file down nuts or sand down nuts. Spin it around and go the opposite direction so you get even removal of material. Now I'm going to have to do this for a couple of minutes here because this is not super aggressive paper. And I like to flip it around so that I get even material removal again. And I'm just going to continue to do this until I can test it in the nut and see if it fits properly. I definitely have removed some material, so now we'll check it and see. You know, There's enough. Yeah, I can keep, I'll just keep working it over here. In fact, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get some heavier grit sandpaper. Here's some P100. This will remove quite a bit of material pretty quickly. And often, like when you're doing this kind of stuff, you can save this powder to do a repair on a nut if you want. Just put it in a little glass vial or something, and you'll look like all the cool people from LA back in the 80s. There you go. Now I know I needed to remove quite a bit of material. This is a lot quicker to do on a belt sander, but I suppose I have to think about the time it would take me to walk out to the belt sander versus just sitting here and doing it by hand. Almost. It's almost there. I just checked it on the nut. Still a little bit too wide. Isn't this fun? I love the smell of bone in the morning. Yep. Did I just say that? Check it one more time. Hello. Oh man. We were almost there. We're so close right now.
There you go. It's $39.99.
You take a debit card?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Do you fit? Boom. I just said boom. My goodness. All right. So that's a nice tight fit. On the back side it fits. You can see that now that thing just fits perfectly. So now it's just a matter, I like to go from the top down. I can take a bunch of material off the bottom of this, and meaning I can, man, that just almost stuck. I can sand a bunch of material off the bottom of this, and I'll do that here for a few seconds. I'm just going to grind a bunch off of here because this nut is way too tall. Any questions or comments at this point? Hey Valerie, how are you doing? Your streams are always on in times where I'm just totally unavailable, man. I see them though. My notifications work. Let's see. Is that you, Charlie? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there weren't too many nut jokes today. But want to see my nut? No. This is the old one, which is obviously you can see the height. And here is the new one that we'll put on this instrument. And it's been whittled down to fit so they're the exact same width, or thickness, I should say, end to end. It's kind of weird on a nut. What do you call it? So here we go. I'm gonna do some more sanding on this bad boy. I'll get you in the picture here. Sorry about all the wobbliness, but gotta do it. So I'm not gonna do this too far. I just want to remove a little bit of material, and then I'll go from the top down, and it gives me some leverage ultimately. And yeah, I could take this out and put it on the bench sander and remove a bunch of material really quickly, but I think in order to keep the live stream live. Definitely getting some material off of here. Okay, that's probably enough. So what I am going to do here, if you look down into this slot right here for the nut, you can see that there's a drip of super glue or some sort of glue in there where somebody tried to glue this at one point in time. I don't ever put glue on the bottom of the slot. I always put it on the face of this. So I always put it on this face to keep the bottom of the nut slot from getting glue buildup on it. I don't want to work on that the next time I have to work on a guitar and have to scrape all the glue out of there, which is what I'm going to do right now. I've got this cool little tool that I made. It's a very sharp screwdriver. I'm basically taking it so that I can scrape off little bits of stuff, and didn't remove one lick of wood on that. And one little chip did come out there, but just kind of using it more like a scraper than digging at it. I just want to get all this old glue out of here. Oh boy, keep coming. I'll get some of that stuff stacked up here. Did we get crates of stuff today?
Yeah, there's some stuff I don't know if I can carry in, but we'll.
Okay.
I'll get to that later.
You need a young, healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I called myself young. Oops. All right. So now I've got that slot all cleaned out. I am going to get my favorite CA glue. If you cut yourself, this shit is really good to have around. This will stop your bleeding in no time, and it doesn't hurt. But here's my process for doing this. 2 small dots. I'm not too concerned about the glue that was way too much. It's perfect, right? And it's pretty amazing that this nut is exactly the right width for this. And I'm going to... Cool thing about this super glue, the CA glue that I use, is that it does take a few seconds to harden up. There we go. Now we're sitting there just right. Can't even feel it. I might have to do a little bit of sanding on those sides to make it absolutely perfect, but it ain't going anywhere. So at this point, it's time to start grinding down the nut slots. And now this is a 12 to a 54 is what the string gauge that we're going to set this nut up for, and it's really important to cut the slots the right size. I typically will use, like for a 54, I will use a 55 thousandths nut file, and I use these Hoscos, and these have been just fantastic nut files. And I'm just going to go to town. I know that I have to cut a lot of this off of here, so I'm just going to make a kind of a preemptive strike and remove a bunch of material right now. Yes, I could have taken a lot more off the bottom, but I feel like my work's a bit more accurate if I don't do that in a lot of cases. That's a personal preference. There we go. And then there's a 44. So I'm going to use 46. And again, I've got two sets of nut files. So this next string is a 44. I'm going to use a 46. We'll just start cutting away at it, and I do cut kind of down at an angle to get some relief, so that the string is only making contact with the very front edge of the nut. I feel the least amount of string contact you can get in a nut, the string has more opportunity to ring freely. Alright, again, we're just kind of making some quick moves here. 32. I'm going to go ahead. Now, if I don't have a file that is the right size, like this next string is a 32, I'm going to go ahead and use this 26, but I'm going to kind of feather it out left and right a little bit. So I'll tilt the file a little. You got to be really careful not to scratch the headstock if you're doing this. I have to be super careful about that. If this is your own guitar, go ahead. You'll break them. They'll chip. Doesn't happen very often, but and you know what I'm doing right now is a big reason why a lot of guys won't do live guitar repairs, because if you do happen to slip, and everybody's gonna see it. So thank you for making me much safer. Now the next is a 24. I'm gonna go ahead and use my 26 on this one. Now I want to check that string, and that fits perfectly. Now I can tell that I'm way too high still, but I'll take some distance material off the top of that. And for those of you who may not be aware, if Steven is still here, I don't know if he's in this chat. He's a luthier and he builds guitars to a much deeper extent than myself. He actually does all of the woodwork and cutting and book matching and all of that stuff. And I don't believe he has a YouTube channel at this point, but he is definitely one hell of a talented artist slash luthier. And he has a really cool uncle. I don't know if Steven's got a YouTube channel, but it would be really, I think he would have a fun time with it. Let's see, so the next one being a 16, and I've got a 17, so we'll go 17 here. And these thinner strings, they cut a little quicker, so I've got to be careful not to go too far. All right. And it's fun for me because I've had some friends who I've been friends with for a long time that I know are now working on their own instruments, and they're having great success by having watched me and my encouragement for them. And again, this is all educational, the concept here, to give you a good idea of how to do this sort of stuff for yourself. I am not trying to video myself out of work. That'll never go away. People will always need someone to work on their guitars. But, if you have a nut that gets chipped off at one end, which happens quite often if you own an acoustic guitar, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The end busts off and the string won't stay put. If you have a little bit of knowledge about how to do it, you can fix that sort of stuff by yourself and not have to pay someone. Which is nice. I appreciate the business, but I also appreciate teaching. All right. So we've done all that. Now I'm going to remove a bunch of material off the top of this. Now I am putting pressure on the back of the headstock here, pushing up against so I'm not like gonna break the headstock off of this thing. I hope. Please let me know if I have a booger hanging out of my nose. My brush. Y'all know what I'm smelling right now, right? It's an awesome smell. I'm not worried about hitting the strings with the sandpaper. This is going to get a new set of strings on it. So the only thing I got to be careful of is to not like run the sandpaper into the headstock or the fingerboard, just create a bunch of more work for myself. And this, what I'm doing right here, is probably what happened to that old nut. Somebody sanded way too much off the top of it, and it ended up causing a problem where the string wouldn't stay put in the nut in the slot. I'm going to take just a little more off of here, and I'm still way too high at this point. I know that. And if you wonder why a guitar tech or your local guitar shop might charge what they charge, or why it costs what it costs for them to do a repair like this, now you know. Now, I don't have a shit ton of money invested in tools to do this kind of work, but definitely some. Alright, that's looking pretty darn good. So I'm going to start with the G string. No G string jokes. We've heard them. Pull this up into pitch. We're close. We'll check. Yeah, so I've got quite a ways to go. That's a again my 26. So let's loosen that up enough to get the string up and out of there. And we're going to take it down some more. And at this point, you got to be really careful not to go too far. And boy, I got lucky on that one. I could have easily gone too far with that. I'm going to take a couple of more swipes, and we're going to call that a day. Because I like for this, with my feeler gauge, to... I'm going to go a little bit more. This is where you got to just take your time. Don't go too far. Taking some off the back side of this. And the other thing I'm going to do, I try to, with these 3 and 3, although these are fairly straight, I'm not too worried about it. But like on a Gibson, the machine head's clear over here, so that string takes a big dive over that direction. So you can clear a little bit out of one side of that and give it a nice smooth curve. People complain about Gibson guitars not staying in tune. You know why? That right there. That's the only reason. One of the only reasons. They talk about the, what is it, the string butler or whatever. Well, go ahead and buy one. I own 3 Gibson guitars, and mine stay in tune perfectly because I got a set of nut files that probably cost less than a string butler. I don't have to drill new holes in my headstock on a Gibson guitar, and these will solve the problem. I doubt and learn the cure to his ailment. They are too expensive. Those guitars are way too expensive. But I've worked on so many Gibsons. They really are fantastic instruments. Lots of different models. Almost there.
Got some machine heads in.
Oh, perfect.
What do you want to sell these for?
Let's see, there's a set of locking machine heads. These ones are for a client. So one pair of them is.
Okay.
Let's put 59.
For these?
Yeah, they're locking style. These are cool.
Oh, are they both the same thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and this one of those sets, I've got a note up there that I ordered for
okay.
a guy. Oh, and that's
right.
that. Ah, thank you.
Oh, are you putting them on for him?
No, he just bought them from us.
Okay.
So cool. Got my iPhone or my phone holder doohickey, and as you can see, it does take some time to get everything absolutely. Now I'm just putting enough tension on this so that it pulls it down in the slot. And this is a 17. Let's see, I've got a lot more to go on that one. So what I'm looking for is for this, I've got a 16 thousandths gauge right here, feeler gauge, and what I want that to do is to create a note. So, da, da, da. But as a, it's getting pretty close.
That, apparently Tracy's number is, that's not his number anymore. His girl, some girl said, this isn't his number anymore. So, but he paid, I think.
He did.
So, if I don't know if you have an alternate number. Or,
Oh, good grief.
don't worry about it. I mean, I just set him
know.
behind the counter.
Okay.
Mark paid.
Drama.
Yeah, that's what it
Good
sounds
grief.
like.
Ah. All right. I know this is not a terribly exciting video, sitting here pointed at a headstock of a guitar for a half an hour, but you can see what it takes. If you've ever thought about getting into doing this kind of work, see what it takes to get there. Oh, okay. Backup camera. Anybody need one? There you go. It's a Anina. Anina. Kind of a cool name. These odd names just keep coming up. And I think we're pretty darn close. Now, let's talk about why this first fret action is so vital, and I thank you guys for hanging out. Yeah, the phone. Yeah, think of the new Neural DSP Rebay. I haven't tried it. To answer that question, I haven't tried it. I own 4 different guitar amp sims from Neural DSP, and with those I kind of feel like I've gotten everything that they could ever offer. I've got the Nameless, that's for guitar, Nameless, a Bossy, Nolly, and Gojira. If you can't get a good guitar tone with those 4, and you really only need Nolly, but I haven't tried the Roubaix one. It's not, to me, I own enough of them that they make absolutely fabulous products. I'm not sponsored by them, obviously, but they are some of the best guitar amp sims. Now let's talk a little bit about why this first fret action. This is the most important part of this, and it has to do with intonation of your instrument. I know a lot of you guys know this, so I'm probably blowing, smoke in the wind. However, if your first fret action is too high, the amount of distance that you have to push your string down at that first fret, your B string, when you fret that note, it should be C. And if you're too high and you fret that note, it will end up being a C sharpish. And there's no excuse for that. If you're moving that string 16 thousandths of an inch-ish, or 14 thousandths of an inch, the pitch is going to be correct at that first fret. Also for playing comfort, but that's the most important reason. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that one. Terraberry, whatever, Stevie T. He's pretty funny. I've kind of gotten burned out on his stuff. His glasses. He's a cool dude. Great guitar player. Yeah. Boy, I'm doing my best, you guys. I can't get a wired connection to my computer. I'm taking a breath here for a moment. Let my sanding arm get back in action here. All right. So we're gonna go to work on the high E string, which was the reason for the season at this point. Really. Yeah. Doesn't that sound great? Don't you love the sound of that? We call this stew tuning here at our shop because my journeyman Stu can tune a guitar in the most heinous, most heinous pitch you can imagine. His ear is so well trained that he can tune it to some really heinous, to make some really heinous sounds. Again, this being the D string, and it's a 32. I'm using a 26, but let me get this pointed down here. I'm using a 26. I need to talk to my cameraman. He's still slacking, but I'm tilting it left and right to get this nut width the correct width. And that's where you got to be careful. I'll be able to make that disappear, but 26. Alright, more stuff. We got inventory coming in today like crazy. Of course, it's the day after the holiday, so. And I would be helping put inventory away right now, but this is kind of a pressed job. This person that owns this guitar, I believe, has a gig this week. So I just want to get her done. Almost. Just take one more little swipe at this one. There we go. We got the A string, which is a 44. Nope, come here. Sometimes I know I'm not anywhere near close enough, but I like to stick my feeler gauge down in there to see visually how far I've got to get. It kind of gives me a way to know, boy, I got a lot of sanding, or barely touch it. I hope I didn't just go too far. Nope. Again, I'm not worried about making contact with these strings because it will have a new set of strings on it when I'm all done. It'll be the last thing I do. We'll do a little bit of setup and cleanup work on this thing also. That's good. to go on this one. Boy, I got a long way to go on this one. I might need to actually take all these strings off here and file. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to go ahead and get these strings out of the way and remove some material off again off the top of the nut. That way I won't have to file through quite so much material, and I can be not necessarily more accurate, but makes it a little easier. And you know what I'm doing here, I wouldn't do this any differently if I was working on a Martin or a Gibson or a Larrabee or a Taylor. There's no, I don't treat any instrument any differently than another in most cases, unless it's my own. Looking pretty sweet, huh? That is just looking sweet. I used to plumb houses, and now I sand guitar nuts. Gotta have some horsepower, man, and muscles. A lot of work, a lot of sanding. I may have sold a nut to the guy that owns, or the lady that owns this guitar, and she may have tried to do this herself, because I know that the nut that was on this had been altered. So just hope she didn't put a ton of work into it, and then because of a little bit of aggressive or too aggressive in nature with the sanding block, ruined all that hard work. Believe me, I have done it. Not at this level, but you get a little bit too carried away with a piece of sandpaper and stuff can get, man, it's a bummer. You can put a lot of hard work into something and one swipe ruin all that hard work. Yeah, we're looking pretty darn good here. perfectly in tune right now. Almost perfect. 55. Almost perfect. We're getting close. We're getting close. By the way, Mike, that amp,
What?
the tuner was turned on.
Did
I
you-
knew that's what it was. I should have just told him that, but I needed to test it. But nonetheless, I could have given it right back to him. But I don't know if.
Marshall, I figured it was something like that.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even know it has a tuner.
Oh,
I think the only thing I think I'm going to need help with eventually is maybe we'll move some of this stuff over, and then I'll try to put some of these powered woofers over there.
okay.
Not that right this second.
Okay. Okay.
It's not.
Don't hurt.
Stop what we're doing.
Yeah.
But that would be great if you did. So I know you're putting this stuff away anyway. Then if you spend another 5 minutes merchandising, I will love you forever. Thinking maybe pull that party pack out and I'll put it somewhere else. I'll talk to you when you're done.
So we now have a new nut on an acoustic guitar, and of course I've tuned it expertly, right? Probably cutting out. There we go. Now, I'll probably go back and touch up a few things on this. Let's see. Boy, it looks like my stream might be having some issues, guys. I don't know how well it's coming across, but I appreciate everybody hanging with me. It looks like there's some stuttering going on. It's because I have to hook up with Wi-Fi. I can't get a wire run to my computer. Yeah. But another little, yeah, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now, if you can even hear me at this point. Yeah, well, I'm glad you can hear it. We've got a bunch of inventory that came in today, and I do have a lot more work to do, and I could run a live stream all afternoon. I'll be working on guitars, but I've got to get some stuff put away into inventory. So welcome back from a holiday weekend. You do pay for it, believe me. Yeah. Thank you, Zach. You know, you guys, if you have nut work or stuff like that, don't be afraid of this stuff. You can see that, you know, with a little bit of the right tools and a little bit of patience and sneaking up on small dimensions is how you do it, and you do it right. And I have a lot of clients that are real happy about that. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. It's the start of my work week again. So Rogue, Gary, Preston, Zach, Hugh, Richard, the Falcro. Let's see, who else was here